Go out, girl.
Who will break the silence first? We may never know.
It's always me. I can't sit. Girl, happy Tuesday! Welcome
Happy
back
Tuesday.
to the gym.
Yes. Cheers.
Not Zoom just prompting me, asking me if I'm playing music.
Is there some background noise?
No, I'm just that musical when I talk. Anyways.
I love that.
Girl, how are you?
I don't know.
I think that's fine.
Yeah. How are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, great show. See you next Tuesday. That's it. No, for real though. I hit something with my car, and I thought it was going to be really cheap, and so I didn't get it looked at until recently, and it turns out I caused significantly more damage than I realized. And I didn't total the car, but it came right up next to it. I mean, we're talking like a 3-page quote from the garage. It's like body, it's mechanicals, it's paint, it's honey, it's giving body, it's giving face, and it's giving attitude.
Yes.
No, it was not. Unfortunately, it was not like. Could you imagine a quote structured like a drag pageant? I would actually love that. It's like, take my money.
It's giving and taking.
Mm-hmm. So that means it's kind of like, is it the worst thing ever happening in the world? No, but it is annoying to me, and it's not something I factored into my week.
I've been able to open my car trunk in like weeks. I can just go to the mechanic. He is so incredible. My mechanic's amazing, and I just don't go. I'm just like, that feels like a lot.
Yeah. Well, it is a lot, and the expectations on ourselves of productivity. Now, hold on, dear viewers, because we're slowly easing our way into the topic. The expectations on personal PR and productivity in late stage capitalism. Girl, someone has to do something about it because it's getting been getting unreasonable. You know what I mean?
It has.
Like I have to sew my own costumes. I have to wake myself up every morning. I have to make myself breakfast, and I have to drive to work. But no, on top of that, in order to be successful, you know, and we don't even have families to worry about. You know what I mean? I don't even know how people do it when you've got that to worry about.
I know.
But in order to be successful, you got to grind, and then if you're not making enough, in this economy you got to have multiple jobs. Meanwhile, you have to be like monetizing something on Etsy. You got to be selling your friendship bracelets or whatever.
Oh my God, who is Jennifer Beals? Do you know who that is?
I know Edie Beale from Grey Gardens.
No. Beth from the L Word.
Oh, no, I don't.
Okay, well, she was Cinderella in a made-for-TV movie of Cinderella that was just filming a play. So it was like Brandy's Cinderella, but for like 90s kids.
Yeah, it was like
before Brandy.
I'm picturing Mary Martin's Peter Pan.
Yes,
like
same vibe.
Just a stage set with a camera.
Hold on, get the dish cam ready because it's going somewhere.
I love how we say we're going to talk about the topic, and then we go to Mary Martin's Peter Pan.
Okay, here we go.
We're so relatable.
I think we are relatable content. Okay, I found it. Okay. There she is, Matthew Broderick and Jennifer Beals. Look at these sleeves. Just
stunning.
Look at those sleeves.
Not since Glinda have we seen something so iconic.
Amazing.
Oh, and those curls, girl, it's giving Glinda Dorothy fusion, because those little sausage curls, those ringlets,
they're
adorable.
Amazing.
They are amazing.
Oh yeah, and the hat.
Oh my God,
and it's just full and total camp.
That little bonnet.
But I love the stepmother and the stepsisters in this particular version of Fairy Tale Theater.
Girl, it's gay extravagance, the likes of which we've never seen.
Here they are. Yes. Love it.
Oh,
they're amazing.
Yeah, I love that square neck with the tiny little ribbon tie with just like like you could just take flight, the wingspan, you know what I mean?
I know. But there's this great quote from the stepmother. Of course, she's going through everything Cinderella has to do. And then she looks at the girls and she's like, you are in charge of combing your hair, bathing yourself, and occasionally answering the door. And then they flip out and they're like, oh, mother, I hate that door thing. And I have this etched in my brain from my childhood. And that is the kind of life I want to lead when I say I want to rest. Where it's like the littlest list I have, I'm like, no, but I can't do that one. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking for in rest.
So I think I know what you're saying, but I would like to ask a clarifying question.
Yes.
And I would like to reflect it off of my vision of rest and relaxation, which is like, it's not just a place, it's not just an activity, it's also an unavailability. The like, if you want me, you don't know where to find me. I won't pick up. There's no, like, I'm unlisted in all ways possible. Like, not only do I not have an autoresponder, you search for my email and it never existed. Like, I go to an alternate timeline where no one knows who I am, no one needs anything from me.
Yeah. I really need to think about what that looks like for me because I have a series of trips coming up in the coming months that are leisure trips.
Leisure.
And I don't know how to do that. I'm unfamiliar with her, and I need to figure it out. And I think like what you're saying, and just like help me out because I'm the kind of person that like if a friend calls, I'm like, oh my god, they're calling, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to have a conversation with my mom and my sister and my friends this week. It's like, hey, I'm unavailable this weekend.
Yep.
Right? Because it's like, hey, I want to let you know. Not for like you and Joseph and like Dish super fans.
Girl, not you. Yeah, I know, but I know exactly what you mean because you need to do the pre-work of setting the expectations for them like, and for yourself.
Right.
You're like,
right. And
I'm telling you this thing, but also I need you to help keep me honest.
Yeah. 100%. And like we're doing a little getaway weekend this weekend. And
are you at liberty to say where you're going?
Well, I will say we're not leaving the state.
Okay. That's fair.
So we're driving.
You gotta leave a little mystery. You do.
It's Miami.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. You have to leave a little mystery. But you know what I love though is there are different types of being out of the office, and I'm talking literally, professionally. First of all, you have to have the support of your boss and like other people to be able to, if you really are going to step away and not respond to anything, then like there needs to be a work culture where you can actually do that. So that's number one. But also like there's sometimes when you're out of office, but you're like, if something's really urgent, text me, you know?
Well, and I think that's the challenge. It's like, I don't think it's necessarily always where I work or what I'm doing. It's me.
Yeah.
So like I have to tell my boss, no matter where I work, like I'm unavailable this afternoon.
Yeah.
And I'm just so bad at that. And like, it's just one of those things that I struggle with. So, you know what I mean? I can't blame the environment when I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Well, and then I think there are some environments.
That's what I'm saying is I think a lot for a lot of people who are busy and have a lot of responsibilities, like it feels, just me thinking about it now, it feels inconceivable to be like, well, what if something urgent comes up? How will they contact me? They won't. That's it, right?
Right.
Don't text me. Don't email. I'm not checking anything. And I guess the only way you can really feel confident about that is to have someone else who is the person that will receive all the questions that would normally go to you.
Right. Yeah, which I don't really have. But anyways, what I was saying is, so for the staycation, I was like, I'm trying to find that balance, and this is kind of what you're talking about, of like, so here's the thing. There's certain things I have to do to relax. Like, I have to get in a little workout. Doesn't have to be a big workout. Doesn't have to be a lot. Hit the mat, little plank, couple push-ups, Yahtzee, or a whole extended workout, or hot yoga, whatever it is. But I need to do something physical to rest.
Mm-hmm.
I can do 1 or 2 days without doing that a week. But other than that, I have to move for my mental health. So when I think about a full day of rest and relaxation, that doesn't necessarily for me mean a day of like doing nothing. And I like found this list of like hidden gem restaurants, and I was like, well, I want to go out to one of these one of the days. And then I'm like, well, that's kind of not resting. And it's like, no, but it is for me because I'm not cooking.
Yeah.
And we're trying something new, and I'm gonna eat whatever I want and not worry about carbs. And you know what I mean? So I think for me, rest is putting the expectations that I have put on myself or society has put on me, or I put on myself as a result of society, or society has put on me as a result of me. I don't fucking know, right? Which is don't eat bread. And
let's talk about
you know
that.
what I mean?
Next week on the
Like,
dish, our
fucking bread.
terrible relationship with bread.
Right. And like, those are the things I kind of set aside and put aside for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel really good about it. And I'm like, okay, those are the things I want to do. Because it doesn't necessarily mean like I'm just like I am really horrific at rest. My partner is always trying to get me like, just sit on the couch. And I'm just like, I can't, and do what? And paint my nails? If I'm going to paint my nails, I could just sit in the sun while I do it, because then I can get a tan while I paint my nails, and then I can listen to a podcast while I paint my nails in the sun. Like I'm always trying to squeeze so much out of time.
Optimizing,
that for me, rest is one thing at a time.
Yeah.
And that being enough.
Yeah. It's really hard to tune everything out. So I don't completely know how to do this, but I know some things that feel like they're moving in the right direction when I feel like I'm moving closer to rest, and part of it is time. Like I can't just put everything down for a day and feel better. Like it takes more time for that stuff to unspool out of my life. And sometimes, Brooke, that can take up to a week. And we don't normally have more than a week of time away from everything, So I want to be able to achieve rest while not having to be in such a crisis that, like, I'm institutionalized. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to get to a crisis level before I take more time, but I don't have time to take. So this is sort of the catch-22.
Yeah, and you just had a long vacation, and I think there's a lot of power in that. And I think for me, I'm that's goals for me, because I really am bad at it, and we are later this year heading away for a full week, six nights, and I am like that. I am terrified. And real talk, real confession, and then it's your turn to talk.
Us getting vulnerable on the dish.
So first night of my honeymoon, we both looked at each other and said, "What are we doing here? Let's go home." Because it had been 4 nights.
Because we hate each other. No.
Because we're divorced. No. Because we were in paradise with everyone we love, and because we did our wedding our way, there was exhaustion, of course. I'm not downplaying that. But it wasn't like it was like, oh, we had to see shitty cousin Cheryl. We had to invite her because of my mom. Like, that didn't happen. And I don't have a cousin Cheryl, so that's why I use that name. But you know who you are, not Cheryl. And I'm like,
I know who Cheryl is.
Yeah, we know who Cheryl. Yes, we do. And I'm like, we were exhausted, but it wasn't that like 200-person fucking bouquet toss bullshit wedding. Like, we curated
Party City.
Every aspect.
Party City.
What?
Party City.
It was, yes. It was everything Party City was not.
Yeah.
The store, but it was an actual Party City. And we looked at each other and we had packed our bags, and it was just such an adjustment for us, especially in Jamaica. So we weren't like in Europe or somewhere else where it's like you stay somewhere a few days, pack up. Stay somewhere a few days, pack up. Like our brains don't do that in Jamaica.
Yeah.
We get one place and we stay one place. So we packed up all our shit, and then we moved it to another location. We're like, let's go home to the dogs. Like, what are we fucking doing here? It was so funny. So I look at my now spouse and I'm like, give me one night. And if I can't convince you to stay, like just come down. Right? Because we had been all the way up with the packing, the buys, and the blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, we couldn't even come down. And we stayed and it was beautiful. And I'm so glad we did. And like, we went to this magical river and it was just amazing. And we get to this river to like, wade through it, and it's just part of you're with a guide, and we found out, no joke, the water coming down the river from the mountain
Mm-hmm.
was the water from the thunderstorms the day before our wedding.
That's so cool. I love that.
So
That's amazing.
we like, it was amazing, but the water was super high and rough and it was beautiful and it was just washing over us. It was like cleansing, and it was just this wild thing the day after our wedding to just go through this, and they're like, oh yeah, this is the storm from Montego Bay, the water's coming down, and we're just like, what? And they're like, yeah, it takes all that time to trickle through the land and gather all the minerals, and now it's washing over you. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is the coolest shit, you know what I mean? And we wouldn't have had that.
Yeah. You know what I love? This is an aside, but you know what I love about, like, when you live in a temperate, when you live in a temperate zone, like, nature is just kind of like half-assing it, you know what I mean? But when you go to the poles or to the equator, nature is lit. Like, she will get your ass together. Like, when we went out that night with the storm, the night before your wedding, we were in the midst of a intense thunderstorm, one of the most intense I've ever been in personally in my life. And we were on a rooftop, like, with like
nightclub,
with enclosures, but like exposed nightclub, and there was lightning happening, like 5 feet from our face that was this color. It was like purple lightning. It was so cool. Which, first of all, so fierce. We love when the color stories line up, but also incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, the equator don't play.
Mm-mm.
Don't play on bugs and weather.
Also, that sun in the equator, me and Joseph had like a 4-hour conversation with someone that had this just beautiful, deep, dark black skin in the evening sun. And so he's just enjoying the conversation, carrying it on like normal. And Joseph and I are shriveling up. Like, just
actually,
like a starfish that has crawled out of the ocean.
Funny story about Eileen Galvin. She doesn't have a shirt on right now. That's just the color of her body now.
This is permanent skin damage. Yeah. Right. And it.
Oh, when I go to Jamaica, I wear like SPF 50, and it does nothing. Like, it's just like, why the fuck did you bother? You bitch.
Yeah, and we were having such a good conversation that we didn't want it to end. And at one point, Nathaniel was like, "Are you two okay?" And then, like, cut over to us. We literally have like boils and lesions across our lobster skin, and we're like, "We're fine." It was awful.
We are lizard people, otherwise known as white.
I literally thought when we were like holding each other up, walking back to the room, I thought we were both gonna faint. Like, I'm not even kidding. I felt myself losing consciousness.
Well, right, because then it was like the alcohol, dehydration, and everything kept up to you, and you're just like.
And then just Caribbean sun.
Oh, you know what's so weird about the Caribbean or anywhere close to the equator is I actually don't drink as much when I'm there because I can't. Like, I get there and they're like, "You want a welcome cocktail?" And I'm like, "Regular, no rum, please." Like, I cannot. It's just like,
well, I learned that lesson the hard way. And that's
it takes you down.
Yeah, you know, I
in a good way though. You have to surrender. And I think this rest is about finding your surrender and whatever that is, you know? And I think, like, for me, I need an external force to surrender me. So I need a setting shift, a social shift, right? Like, I love, you know, I travel solo a lot for work, and I love it because it does give me that energy shift. But if I can travel with friends, you know what I mean, whoever I can travel with, that's another shift. Like, you gotta find what helps you surrender. And I think you're a settings person too, and that's why we get along.
Yeah. Well, by settings, do you mean like the sort of internal settings that we have within us, or do you mean like the setting itself?
No, I mean the setting.
The setting,
right?
Okay.
Like, I think settings really, like external settings really, I think, like, you're like, okay, I need to go to this space, so I'm gonna go to this place.
Yeah.
Like, even when you're reading tarot and things like that, like, you can bring it wherever you are, because I do think there's part of it that is absolutely internal. But I think sometimes when, like, I'm struggling, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh, okay, what do I need to do? You know, sometimes the external space affects me.
Yeah, well, and I noticed you didn't bring up your favorite thing that you like to do when you relax, which is get in a nice hot tub in the Hocking Hills.
My screen is not frozen.
Brooke has left the chat. Yeah.
Okay, first of all, if you are watching this later or now, please be assured. The last time I got into a hot tub at Hocking Hills, I absolutely needed a Z-Pack. Those things are disgusting, and that's fine. But I will say to one Eileen Galvin, she has convinced me that it's not terrible. And to our other mutual friend Arthur, who does not watch this show, so shout out to Arthur, you'll never watch. He always is now sending me houses that are like $8,000 a night in Hocking Hills, and I'm like, that's great. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing I like about Hocking Hills for you, right? It is that nature connect
For you.
because it's close.
Yeah, it's close.
To you. Like I think that's right. Like
It's less than an hour away.
An hour,
barely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And but that's enough time to get away and not be like, we're gonna get in the car and go home.
Yeah.
Which is an important distance for me and you, I think.
It's kind of like you know, the thing that and the trip to Jamaica for your wedding had in common is that there really aren't other things there aren't other possibilities to tempt you in that moment. It's like, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to do what I need to be doing here, which is nothing. You know what I mean? Like, there's just less distraction, less alternatives. Just like, no, what I really am supposed to be doing here is lowering the amplitude on everything.
Yeah.
Just trying to do less. That's what I'm hearing.
Girl, 3 things I need for a successful Hocking Hills weekend. What are my 3 things? So I'm a Barbie doll. You know how Barbie comes with 3 accessories?
Right.
What are the 3 things I need to pack?
Lots of snacks.
Okay. Okay. So a grocery bag full of snacks.
Yep.
Okay.
You need, oh gosh, like lots. I'm gonna cheat and put 2 things in one. Lots of bug spray and sunscreen.
Okay. Bug spray.
Lots of
sunscreen. Also in the bag. What else?
And a Z-Pack. Because we're getting in that hot tub.
I look like a gay Statue of Liberty.
What would you say? What would you say the 3 things to go to the Hocking Hills?
A car with 4-wheel drive.
Okay, sure.
I feel like that would be wise.
It's not like we're going off road. You know what I mean?
But I'm not getting stuck.
Okay, fair.
A bottle of bourbon.
Oh yeah, I mean, girl, no brainer.
Yeah.
That's just any trip though.
And coffee grounds, because they always have a shitty coffee pot, but they never have coffee.
Well, they tell you like, oh, we have a full kitchen, but then there's like, you know, a knife that's rusty and dull and you can't use it.
You're like, oh, is that a knife? No, it's a spatula.
Yeah, but
it's just a hardened spatula.
But if you get the place that, you know, the place that I'm pretty sure it is, if it's like, I'm sure 8,000 a night is an exaggeration, I hope, but it was probably something that was built from scratch last year, and they've got all the luxury, like,
well, it's built into a cave.
Oh yeah, I've seen the one. The
super modern, but it's built into a cave.
Yeah, so they've got a full knife set. It's not going to be that way for long. But they have a full knife set now.
I know, like, why are people stealing knives?
I don't know, but because they'll steal anything. Because people are not great.
True. People aren't great.
People aren't great. If you take one thing away from this show, 100 and what are we at? 34 episodes in.
43, right?
Oh, 44. That's a lot. That's a few dishes.
So if you're going to take one thing away from the show, 144 episodes in, which is a great number because it's divisible by 12.
Yeah, I love that. It's a square.
What is the one. What is the one thing you take away that people are suck? Is that what it was?
No, no, oh no, no, no. I was just being funny. If I was actually going to take something away, it would be continuing our friendship. That's what brought us together. That's the most important thing about this whole show. Girl. I love that.
I do too.
So
No, What Up Girl has always gotten longer. Go ahead.
Can we end with because can you believe it? We're getting close to time. I would like to end with a final piece of advice about how to achieve rest and healing with limited time and resources to do so. I'll go first.
You first.
Okay. She's struggling. She's like, come back to me. I got it. I think for me, it is about, this is going to sound so cheesy, so corny, and so played out, but I think you have to develop a practice of gratitude wherever you are, because you can't always get rest and healing right away, but it's like, you know what, let me be grateful for the things that I do have. And then also, I guess the second thing, I'm cheating a lot tonight. The second thing would be let go of the things that really don't matter to anybody except you. Or don't matter as much to anybody but you. You know? Like, we impose so many deadlines on ourselves, and it's like, what's really going to happen if I don't do that? It's going to be fine.
Yeah. There's I love those. I think there's a word that I've really struggled with reintroducing into my vocabulary, but I've started to. And that word is grace. And
that's a hard one. Especially with your Catholic background.
Yes, and the church robbed me of that word.
Yeah.
In a way. But I've rediscovered grace as something that I bestow on myself. Right? And that, like, I give to others in my life, and it's a power I have.
Yeah, I love that.
Instead of a power bestowed on me, I bestow. So, like, I suffered a loss recently.
You did.
And I put a lot of expectations on myself and others for how people should react. And like I had to just start extending grace to myself and to others. You know what I mean? Which, hold on, don't move.
I feel like this is going to be the next Finding Hope, that TV show. The next Finding Hope is going to be Extending Grace, and it's just some girl named Grace like, hi.
I got the best, so I've gotten beautiful flower arrangements from Besties Like You and amazing cards from folks about Penny. And if you are the one who sent me that beautiful Penny picture, let me know, because I don't know who sent it.
Yeah, that is a mystery that remains unsolved.
My favorite card has a bird on it, and I'm going to read it aloud because it's my favorite.
Aww.
Dear Brooke, I'm so sorry for your loss. The time with our fur babies is never long enough. Meanwhile, parrots live to be 60 years. They are not even nice. Multiple go fuck yourselves daily. This person doesn't own a parrot. I don't own a parrot. The bird on it isn't a parrot.
It's not. It's a robin. That's so funny.
I love it. It's so funny. And she donated to an animal shelter in Montego Bay in Penny's name.
Oh. Can I guess who it was?
Yeah.
Was it Laura?
No.
No, it sounds like a Laura Sanders card. It really does.
Doesn't it? But isn't it the funniest?
It is. It's so funny. It's so funny.
Parrots. Anyways, so I'm extending grace, and I'm mostly extending grace to myself, because I think that's something that I is long overdue. Because again, even the grace in the Catholic Church, it was like, it wasn't for me. So now I give it daily.
Can I have a little weird witchy occultist moment?
I'd love that.
It's time for a segment we like to call Weird Witchy Occultist Woman. That was it. On today's episode, I would like to be vulnerable and talk about my relationship with spirituality over the last, my developing relationship with spirituality, which has had to do with queer witchcraft and like being in dialogue with a particular patron goddess, which is not something that I would have ever felt comfortable with until maybe 4 years ago. Because that's like when a lot of concurrent crises were starting with the pandemic, and so like I needed some assistance. And here's the thing, I think being in contact with the divine is like a very internal process. It's not like you're calling down some external greater power or whatever, at least that's how I feel. It's like getting in touch with a part of yourself that you're not normally willing to listen to. Because extending grace to yourself is not easy, especially if you're someone who's dealt with self-esteem, perfectionism, like feelings of inadequacy, whatever that is, right? We all have to like prove something to ourselves. And what getting in dialogue with the divine has really helped me with is it's kind of like tricking yourself into believing you're talking to somebody else. And it's really just a way for you to get out of your own way and like accept your own advice. And it's been really helpful to me. And
I love that.
I close that to say whatever works for you, like that's not going to work for everybody, but it has really been very helpful for me. I talk to myself driving to work a lot.
Maybe that's what we have in common. Our everlasting friendship and that. And with that, dear viewers, thank you for tuning in to a late dish. It was a deep dish we didn't mean to, but we really covered a lot. Fuck parrots. We look forward to seeing you next week and every week at Tuesday at 7, unless we are traveling. Sorry. But you can always tune into old episodes and stay tuned for episode 150. We have some fun in store.
We sure do. We don't know what it is yet, but you can be assured of fun. Fun will be had all around. All right, tune in next week or else. Just kidding. Bye.
Bye.